a bear just sort of get up on its own. You know what I mean? However, at level 18...
We're rolling.
Dice.
Camera. Action.
Hello, and welcome to the BBEG Podcast, which of course stands for, as it normally would, the Big Bad Evil Giraffe.
We are giraffeless.
We are giraffeless. The giraffe has just popped out
Quit.
for a walk. Quit.
Wasn't paid enough.
He went to get milk and never came back.
Yeah. And thus, we are giraffeless for this episode. But it's okay. We will get through. In this episode, we are covering the Druid class. But yes, my name is Hatty. Welcome.
My name is Will. Welcome again.
And I'm Em.
No welcome.
No welcome.
No, welcome.
You did.
Welcome
You decided to take
from
a
Germany.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Willkommen.
Wait.
Willkommen.
Yes.
Bienvenue.
Welcome.
But yes, we will be covering Druid and all of its finery. This is, I have to say, I think it's a personal favourite just because it was my first.
You always remember your first.
You always remember your first. And I have not played a Druid in quite a while. I think the last time I did was for a sneaky one-shot around Christmas time. It was to introduce the girls to D&D, I think.
Yeah. The Elf Tribe one. You went there for that? No.
I don't think I was there.
It was it was a very, very small. So it started off being like, before Em goes away, do we want to play?
Yeah.
I think you had work, if I remember correctly.
Wait, no, it was.
Yeah, he was there. This is where we had the argument about two-handed attack.
That's right. That's right.
Two-handed
Yes.
attack.
You were all
Yes.
different elven tribes.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Correct.
And you used your giant spider form to its fullest ability.
I
that was
love wild
creepy
shape
as all hell.
and spiders, and there was nothing I could see that was better than to transform into a huge ass spider and to pick up poor Naja from the
Scale her across the roof
and just like carry her into the ceiling. And bless her, in real life she does hate spiders. So as you can only imagine, when I was like, I'm going to grab you with my hairy legs, and she was like, please don't.
But then you dropped her on the BBEG so she could inflicting wounds?
Yeah.
Is that what it's
No,
called?
fun fact. She enjoyed playing a
Inflicting wounds.
paladin that much in that one shot
She was
that
a
you
cleric.
ran.
She was a cleric.
Cleric, sorry.
Unbelievable.
Misspoke. Playing a cleric that much that she's playing a cleric again in the campaign that we're doing.
Yeah.
She's like, I actually really enjoyed that. You made her experience good in that one shot.
Yeah.
Well, she'd been sitting on the sidelines for a while. She'd been sitting and watching a few of our sessions because she played it once or twice in the high school and she just wasn't ready to jump back in. So that was a fun way of getting her in, also giving Kelly a chance before getting her in for the Christmas one shot, so she wasn't completely like blind.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good fun. And
Druids are fun.
But when I first played it, because I was brand new, I maybe didn't lean into it quite as hard as I could have done.
Yeah.
So like Wild Shape, I don't think I touched Wild Shape while I was doing your
That's the Druid's main thing.
I know, but because I had access to like Primal Savagery, you have a whole wealth of spells that you can also use. Transforming into Wild Shape, because I'm brand new, and I'm like brand new.
Oh, that's a whole other stat.
Barely know the stats that I have anyway.
Yeah.
It was like I could see other people we were playing with. Like, Sam on one of our one shots transformed into an alligator because we were in the sewers, so why not? And like seeing everyone use them, I was like, this is amazing, I'll do that. But then not having, I think it was a confidence thing, not having the confidence to be like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Because when you are in a new group and you are the only newbie in a group of players who've already played, there is a slight kind of, I don't know, help me.
I don't want to mess up in this fantasy role-playing game.
But like...
Also, you lent into the other sides of
Yeah.
the druid because you were Circle of Grassland.
I was indeed. Yeah.
Say good DM. I remember my players.
Yeah.
But like you lent into the theme of your character.
Yeah.
A lot. So just because you have wild shape doesn't mean you have to use it every second.
No.
So
See, that's why I'm excited for this episode, because all I know about druids is wild shape.
Okay.
That's really my takeaway from druids.
So if
I
was
love
to
druids.
summarize a druid, it is the earth dweller character. It is someone who communes with nature and uses it to their advantage. They're able to really interact with animals and plants to be able to use them to heal or disguise themselves or in battle.
Yeah, that's I kind of think hippie when I think druid.
Exactly.
That's what I think.
If you have monk as a ninja and rogue as a spy, this is the hippie.
Okay.
Yeah. So I break down the three main. I put wizard, sorcerer, and druid as like the three main magical classes of D&D.
Mhm.
Yes, warlocks exist, but I just think that's
You'll put their 2 spell slots.
I just think it's slightly different because it's a pact. Like they're making a connection with a demon or a fiend or whatever to get their abilities. But in terms of like pure magic classes, I break them down into wizards are book smart.
Yeah.
Sorcerers are naturally talented.
Mm-hmm.
And then the druids are street smart because they use their wisdom. It's all their wisdom. So it's nature and it's like, exactly. Environment. Walking on the streets. Oh, that's not a good thing. That's how I see it.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a good way to think about it.
So, like, when creating a character with that in mind, you can look at the Earth races, for instance. So you've got like Wood Elf or Earth Genasi, or people who have Earth in their name, or things like that to help boost what you already need.
They're really good for like, especially for a theme. That's really good.
Oh, yeah, if you're leaning into the earthy theme, they are the go-to.
You can make a. I mean, we say this in every episode. You don't have to stick to the stereotypes, but stereotypically, was that what you would do?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I lent heavily into Wood Elf.
Yeah.
Because there are bonuses in there that I needed, but you could choose. It's all about what you want. Going back way to the beginning, it's all about what you want to play. If you look at a particular race and you go that one, then put that into whatever class you would like. Because it shouldn't matter. You don't have to have the maximum points on everything to be able to play a good game.
And I think druids have like a great versatility as well. That you can go by theme and what the PHP suggests in terms of race, but like with what druids can do in the summary of like abilities with their magic and with their own fighting style, because they have a better health buffer than wizards and sorcerers. Wizards and sorcerers only have a D6. Druids get a D8.
They do.
So already they have a bit of a better, barrier. But because of their spells and what they have, I think they have access to some better weapons and some like melee cantrips. Like I think me and Hattie have bonded over this one. Primal Savagery is a great cantrip, especially if you want to get up close and personal. Whereas a wizard, its best cantrip is something like Firebolt, which is a ranged spell with a 1d10 damage, which is great. But then if you have something like Shocking Grasp. Shocking Grasp is like the wizard's best up front, which is only a D8, whereas Primal Savagery is a D10. Also,
it is. So
there you go.
The list of cantrips. So cantrips to spells. Cantrips is obviously something you can use instantly. You don't have to expend a spell slot. It is yours should you wish. And a spell slot, obviously, you have a particular set of slots and a particular set of spells, and you choose which one you use, and it expends a spell slot. The list between druids and other spellcasters in terms of what you get cantrip to spell, I find the versatility of the druid spell list so much better between that and another
Really?
Magic. Yeah, because they have things where it's like primal savagery for if you're up close. They have, I think it's like ice knife.
Which, there's a range then explodes as well.
So you have all of these that can be used both at range and melee that are brilliant.
Yeah.
You also have the softer, like curable ones as well. And they're all, it just seemed like a better range if you're playing first time and you want a spell character. Druid spoke to most because of the amount of versatile spells from an early stage.
Because on Dungeons and Baddies, the player who's playing a Druid on there, he's a healer, so it's good to know that you can do melee and range and utility and healer with this one class.
Which is a great thing to remember, considering wizards and sorcerers do not get healing spells.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Yes.
Yeah.
So druids get the healing. I think they get some buff spells as well.
Yeah.
But also, as we have sort of mentioned, the wild shape that you get it no matter what subclass you pick, but there is a subclass that boosts it compared to the others. But at the end of the day, you form into an animal, you take its health and skills whilst you are in that form. So once that animal hits 0, you just revert back to your normal form.
It's like a
So
second health.
essentially, the only time it affects your health is if the attack was that powerful that it went past the animal's form, like in one attack. So say it was an 18 and someone hit you with a 26, you're like, oh damn, there's the extra 8.
Yeah.
But to have an extra, like you said, a damage bar that gives you a buffer that again allows you to get up close and personal. And at certain levels, as you get higher, you start off with land animals, then you can have animals with swimming speed, so you can go underwater, and then you can get flying animals.
Second, you get quarter, which is like floor stuff. Fourth is you get example is crocodiles, so sea based. And 8th you get giant eagle. So I'm like, this is just fantastic. How doesn't a druid break the game for a DM who goes, I'm just going to do this animal?
It is capped, so I think you only get a set number of times that you can wild shape before a long rest. So I think it starts at 2 and then goes up every couple of.
And also, you can only stay in the form for a set amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like an hour at the lower levels, and once you've hit that hour, you have to revert back. So it's not a permanent thing. But I think we've summarised the Druid pretty damn well. Let's chat creating the Druid. So Hattie, why don't you talk us a bit through when you created Doniana? Like what sort of things did you look at?
So because I was working with D&D Beyond, as we all do when we start, and I did not have I know you had given me access to the player's handbook. When I'm creating the character, I think I did look at just it as it gets given to you without looking into the further reading and lore. So I started with, I knew based on all of the races I probably wanted to be something nimble, something that could have good kind of sneaking and movement, something quite graceful. So I was looking at the elves already. And because you're in I am a human. Let's level it up. You know, I think something with some.
If this is your first proper class, I mean, there's human and there's variant human. But if you want to go a little bit more exciting, you're playing a fantasy game. I too would go some kind of elf.
Right. I've seen Lord of the Rings.
I would also associate elves with druids and nature, and so that seems logical to me.
So I was like, let's. And it was, I think I only got you have wood elf and high elf, I think are the two that you get given to begin with. And I knew that.
Do you get Eladrin?
And a drow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Eladrin, drow. They're the same.
Yeah.
No, Eladrin is a high elf. Sorry, it's just different terminology.
Oh, okay.
But I knew that probably a high elf, just seemed like too posh for me. I was like, nah.
Well, you're scum. We all know.
Yeah.
Well, the easiest way to differentiate, the easiest way to sort of look at that is a high elf is more suitable, in my opinion, for a wizard because they get the boost in intelligence. So elves all get a dex boost, which is +2, which is really great, especially for especially for any sort of spellcaster, just to give them that a bit of agility to hopefully dodge some attacks. But then the high elf gets a +1 in intelligence, whereas the wood elf gets it in wisdom, which makes it perfect for
my magic is.
Yeah.
It says, first wisdom should be your highest ability score, followed by constitution. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, if you want to think outside the box with races, some fun ones to look at would be earth or water genasi.
Yeah.
Half elves can actually be fun because they get bonuses.
Yeah.
And you can be like half wood elf, half high elf if you want to flavour it some more.
Yeah.
Also, fairies.
This
Like,
is
who doesn't want to be a little fairy, like floating around, casting some spells?
I want to play a fairy at some point.
Yeah,
I just think
but also it makes thematically so much sense that a fairy, this nature sprite, be a druid, be a master of nature. I think that is so much fun to play. And then it's just a tiny little thing that can sit on a shoulder. Although I think in D&D, some of them have some like shape, I was about to say shape shifting, like shape sizing capabilities.
Level up. Are they able to transform to be human sizing?
I've actually looked at a fairy for the campaign. I'm not going to say Hugh's backstory, but I might make one of the characters from their backstory a fairy. Yeah. Because it would suit. Like, it's an interesting way to play that character. But fairies do have like an enlarge spell, so they can.
So they can
normal sized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But I think fairy would be a great druid.
Yeah.
Because mystical forest dwelling, pixie impy fairy. That might be perfect.
And I think you,
if your DM's cool with you straying from the PHP. I was going to
say, if you have the option to be able to stray from the PHP.
Yeah.
I think you should. Like, as in, have the option.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The PHP is a
guide.
The PHP is a guide.
100%. Yeah.
And if people are saying, I get it for first time.
Yeah, this is what it.
That's what I did for you guys.
Go right ahead. But if this is your first go at ever doing any of this craziness, then use what D&D Beyond gives you.
Yeah.
Because it gives you all the information there and it is easy to follow.
Yes.
And then once you have had a go and you go, actually, this was great, but what I want to do is I want to play Tinkerbell, or I want to
especially with a class like
Druid. Literally what I was thinking.
Yeah. Actually, especially with the class like Druid, that could get overly complicated if you think about it too much.
100%.
First time, just stick to the PHP, go your Wood Elf, go your Genasi.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now, do you remember what background you chose? Because I know the PHP does recommend the Hermit, which I'm pretty sure is that not what it recommended for the monk as well?
The monk, that's it. Yeah,
it's because of the nature and the healing and all of the you said you get
herbalism kit.
Create. There we go. Yeah,
herbalism kit, medicine, which makes absolute sense because medicine is a nature check. Wisdom check even, and religion, which again does make sense because druids can be of a practicing nature because they probably deem some like nature deity.
There's a lot of like praying to earth or anything like
tree huggers. Tree huggers.
They are.
They're tree huggers.
I didn't want to say it, but yes,
that's the word.
That is exactly what she is.
You could also look at things like a faction agent, which I know the name of it doesn't sound. Yeah, that doesn't make sense for a druid. But in terms of,
I don't know what that is. Please explain.
Well, you get proficiencies in the insight skill, which is great for like detection if someone is lying or not. You also, so one skill of your choice that falls under charisma, intelligence, or wisdom that is appropriate to the faction. So you've chosen this group to be a part of. So on top of the insight skill, you get to pick one other skill. So you have the freedom to pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it does say to like make sense with your faction. So if you found like a nature faction, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know all about the factions.
Intimidation. Done.
But as a druid, I think I would look at that nature side and go, okay, well, I've got my insight, so I can hopefully tell if people are lying to me. I would either boost something like perception, or I would boost my animal handling because I want to pet that bear.
Give me the owlbear.
What's the meme? What's the meme of the little girl running out on the decking and it's a little like brown bear? She's like, "Can I pet that dog?"
No.
Yeah. No, I was.
And
just
you
trying to
also
look
get
to see
2
if
languages.
I was just trying to look to see if I could find what my background was. I don't think I picked Hermit, just based off the backstory that I have. I don't even know if I chose anything.
I don't think I've ever chose a background. Maybe I should choose a background.
I think I chose a background for yours.
The backgrounds just give you these extra.
Yeah.
You probably haven't just not realised it, but it gives you some of your proficiencies for your skills. It might give you an extra language that you get to pick from. So if you've gone through your character creation and there's a section saying you can pick an extra language, it's probably from that. And it's on the same page where you do like your ideals and your flaws. And
I always skip that page on D&D Beyond, so I've never chosen a background.
Well, you're an idiot.
I have a feeling it will have automatically filled.
Okay.
So it probably filled it if it doesn't.
Oh.
So you're just running around missing out on proficiency.
I have
At least
to go
not
and
that I'm aware of. Yeah.
I'll do that.
But that is, I think that's character creation. So let's tackle these class features because personally, for the most part, I think druids are pretty cool.
They are very cool.
Buckle up, kids. Level 1 is a page and a half. So
level 1 is just the basic of what your spells are and everything.
Yeah.
It's what you get as a first-level character.
Yeah.
So you
level
get
2
Druidic language, and then just so I know we mentioned it, spell save DC is wisdom at modifier, and then wild shape 2nd, 4th, 8th level. I think that's.
Oh yeah, you don't get a wild shape until you are
level 2.
Level 2, which can make it easier. So you get your spells first. So you have a whole level to be able to look through your spells. I can't remember how many spells you get. Sorry.
Right. It'll be on the table.
2. You have 2 cantrips and 2 first levels. So you have 4 to work with. You can choose any of them. It basically gives you the opportunity to just know how they work, know how they work and how you can work them, essentially, which is great because then as soon as you add level 2 and you get your ability to be able to wild shape into any quarter max
challenge rating,
it's a whole wealth of possibilities.
I think it's up to you. Really, I mean, as a guy who's never played a druid, to go, if it's your first time and I go, I want to play a druid, here's the spells, learn the spells. 2nd level, learn all new stat blocks, go.
Only you don't have to, because it's only a quarter challenge rating, and you can't walk or fly, swim or fly, sorry.
So you still stick to the the limits of what it's telling you.
Yeah.
So you can only do a walking speed animal, and it has to be, what's the challenge rating? Half, did you say? Quarter or below.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean you also have to know every single stat block, because what it says in the PHB...
They'll make you memorize. If your DM is me, they'll make you memorize it. But most DMs would be like, here's the list you have.
Yeah.
This is what you can transform into. And because you're only able to do it twice before a long rest, it does limit. You don't have to memorize and then bounce amongst wild shapes. You can wild shape once into one thing, and then that is it. That is your wild shape done.
But also, wild shape works in terms of what the PHB says is what you as a druid have seen in your lifetime. So then you would have that conversation with your DM about what have I seen, especially depending on backstory. So like when we did the one shot with Kelly, obviously she was a druid for that, and she picked the Arctic Circle, which falls into the subclass territory of druids. And we were like, well, what sort of animals would I see in the North Pole? So we made a little list of a polar bear. Now, a polar bear at level 5 would still be too strong, so we just switched it up a bit. Made it basically it was the brown bear stats, but with the polar bear fur. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Just for flavour. Penguin, if she wanted it. There was Oh, well, she took the cloak for that one. I can't remember if we said...
but I think we gave her the stat block, but it wasn't reindeer because reindeer is too high.
It was like an elk. It was basically, it was a non-flying magical reindeer, basically.
Yeah.
Like, it was a normal deer.
So when I brought up the Dungeon Daddy's Druid who can do all these spells, his backstory, because they're playing real-life dads, was the fact that he'd been to the San Diego Zoo. So he was like, I've seen all the animals. I was like, oh, fuck, that's so good. Yeah. That's so clever.
Yeah.
It is. And then that way, your DM, the only thing that they can go is, well, this exhibit was closed on that day, so...
The reptile house.
Yeah, you can't transform into a snake because it was under construction. Like,
I thought that was such a clever way of doing it. I would have taken it to the San Diego Zoo. That was good.
But yeah, so it's about what you have seen. So until you've seen that animal, you can't morph into it. So that then, I don't think that limits. I just think that warrants a conversation with your DM. So then you know what your list is to what you can pick from.
Yes.
So then you can write your list. You don't have to have the stat blocks. There are some wonderful apps. There's an app that I showed. Well, most of them are in the back of the PHB anyway, where you've got the appendix for stat blocks. But also there is a app called Druid Shape 5e.
Got it there.
I introduced it. I introduced it to Emily when she was playing in our campaign. And basically it takes you through, I'm not going to say all because obviously D&D keeps adding all the time.
Yeah,
but it gives you a big selection from the 0 challenge rating all the way to 6, which I think is the highest you can get.
CR6 is mammoth.
Yeah. On one of them you have like dinosaurs and like basically everything just gets bigger.
Triceratops.
So if you tap the name of an animal, it will then bring up their stat block for you, and it will tell you their stats, their passive perceptions, their traits, their actions that they can do. Also, to make it easier, instead of having to scroll through the entire thing, it gives you a favorite section, so you can favorite the ones that you want, and then they will all appear at the top. So you can just have your immediate list at the ready to go.
Okay.
So if you've made that decision with your DM and gone, okay, I'm going to have 8. Maybe that's a bit too much. Maybe I only have 5 animals I can pick from at level 2.
Yeah.
Here are my 5 for my scenarios. So then you go, I'm not too overwhelmed, especially if I'm learning the game. I've got 5 to pick from. You can have a quick look at the stat blocks and go, this is what suits that situation. Because as a druid, you would know, in my opinion, as a DM, what that animal is capable of. So you go, this will be handy for this situation. Yeah. I think, it could be turning into a mouse just to sneak through cracks, like holes in a wall, just to get into a building and basically eavesdrop on what's going on. You can't talk, but you can take in everything. So doesn't mean it just has to be for combat.
No. And on this app, there is it's very cleverly done and very simple to use. There is also a section for homebrew. So for our Christmas Jamboree, if Em wanted to, he could just add all of the homebrew or kind of adapted animals that we had got for Kelly into here. And then it means that she has got instant access to it. So, there's going to be...
That's a fantastic little app. That is. That really, because in my head, I'm like, it's an endless amount of animals. That is so simple.
Yeah.
That makes playing a druid less scary.
Right? Because not everyone
manageable
to this. Not everyone has
this
access.
£30 book.
Or wants to flick through because all of the stats are done not by challenge rating, but I think it's just a random array. I don't even think it's in alphabetical order.
No.
So
PHP, I think, is alphabetical.
Is it? I can't.
Yeah.
You're not going to bother flicking through this whole book.
And then you have to find the challenge rating in each thing. I think that's, it is, because that's... Yeah. It definitely is.
Going ahead, because we discussed wild shape, and I hope we covered all the basics. And to me, as a person who's never played a druid, that app, the Druid Shape 5e, makes it a lot less scary. But looking through the rest of it, there is not a lot you get by feats or features as a normal druid. So I'm assuming you get loads in your subclasses later.
True, but then the ones you do get are quite useful. So you get like secret languages, cantrips. And you are able
that's what you need to remember. Sorry, you continue.
I was going to say, you just get the ability to prepare spells and have access to spells. So as a magic caster, that is half of your what you can do. You have weapons, and you also have
I think that's what you need to remember compared to melee classes. Your features are what powering your attacks, whereas it's the spells that are powering the casters. So as you level up, you might not get as many features in the same way, but you're getting more spell slots. You're getting higher level spells. But at the same time as level 2 with the wild shape is where you get to pick your druid circle, and this is your subclass territory. Now, just to very quickly dip in, each druid circle comes with its own table of spells. As like extras that you get. So you can pick from, I think very quickly, like Arctic, grassland, forest.
Desert, forest, grassland, mountain, swamp, or underdark.
Yeah. So each of them will have their own separate spells list that on the levels that you then level up, I think it's like 3, 5, and maybe something else, you gain some additional spells. So when you think of it that way, that's another feature that just gives you access to more. That does not go against what you get to pick anyway.
So these aren't ones you have to do. You just get them.
We just get them.
You get them for being part of that circle.
Can you mix? I'm assuming you can't mix and match circles.
No,
you have to.
You choose one. But the circle, that's the circle of land as well. So
circle of life.
So with all the different subclasses, you do get different either array of spells or access to. I think access to wild shape sooner, or it comes with its own special ability. Which goes alongside your ability score or feat improvement that happens at 4, 8, 12, 16, and 19 levels.
It's like the
moon. I see the one. You used to talk about moon.
We can touch on them when we start to go through the subclasses. But naturally level 4, you have your ability score improvement, or if you're happy with your stats and you want to pick a feat instead, find something that boosts and complements. And most feats come with a ability score point increase anyway. So but that's a fun one to play with. Just going through, and I think when I created mine, I just selected, saw what it did, unselected it.
How did it go to the page? What stats are modded?
What's happened, and then go back.
That's it. We've all done that.
Do I really need this? No, go back again.
But then, that's level 4. Then at level 18.
Fly through it.
That's what it goes. When you reach level 4, from main feats, you get your ability. Then it jumps up to level 18, you get Timeless Body. So for 5 to 17, I'm guessing you get a lot of stuff in between somewhere.
You do. So your ability score improvement and your feat does change at level 4, 8, 12, 16, and 19.
It's multiple.
Also, remember, with your wild shape ability, that increases level 2, 4, and 8. So essentially, you're not getting a feature; you're getting an improved wild shape ability.
Oh, okay.
That's how that balances out. And the same with the circle spells. You get additional spells at
3, 5, 7, 9.
There you go. So think of it that way. They're your features because you're getting bonuses on animals. Stronger animals, they can do more things, and you're getting a larger array of spells. So it does balance out.
And it's quite brilliant because it's at nearly every level. At nearly every level, you get another thing. Whereas for other ones, it is like every 2 or every 3 levels. And then you get like basically a huge array of things change between those levels. With Druid, it's quite a consistent. 1, you have this. 2, you get the ability to wild shape along with some extra spells. 3, you get...
The way you're describing it is, it's... Okay, you've already said you improve on what you already can do. With some classes, it's like, and now at level 14, you get this random ability that doesn't really benefit you at all.
Yeah.
This seems quite consistent in the fact that we're just going to improve everything you can do.
Yeah, pretty much. It just builds on itself.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Timeless Body is... I think it's more of a roleplay feature in my mind. It allows your body to only age 1 year for every 10. I would like that to be real, but
have you seen these crow's feet?
But London Air, my friend. It's the London Air.
There's not, to me, there's not a functional use for it apart from role play of going. I am now 220 years old, but I look 20. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think that's gonna. Starting at for every 10 years you pass, you probably only ages 1 year. I'm like, how long does the campaign go on for? 10 years. What's the likelihood of that?
But also, like, that could be a sense of background of, okay, you might not be level 18 at that point, but you could be starting the adventure, especially depending on your race, elves who live for hundreds of years at 300 years old.
Yeah. That's true.
Yes.
And like, I suppose again for gameplay, drinking ages in certain bars, if you look older or younger, or like passing detection. If they're looking for children, you can pass as a younger person, but still have the age of like 35.
That's a good way. Oh, that's very cool. We're looking for 18-year-olds or 25-year-olds. You know, I look 25. I'm actually 300. So they're going to take me in.
Yeah, exactly. Passing detection or disguise that would probably help with, just because your age and the amount of knowledge that you hold because of that age.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, the other thing you get at level 18, which I think is actually pretty epic, is beast spells. So normal wild shape, when you are in your animal form, you are not allowed to cast spells.
Because you can't talk.
Because, like, think of it logically, you have turned into an animal. I think it would be pretty hard to see a bear just sort of get up on its... You know what I mean? However, at level 18... At level 18, any somatic and verbal spells, you are allowed to do that. So somatic and verbal is obviously verbal and hand gestures. The only spells that you cannot cast in your wild shape form is anything that uses a material component.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Now, I do think
you don't have a first performance as a bear. So you can't, so it just allows you to do that one.
You can't just mold earth together to create a healing potion. You're a bear. It's not going to work.
Yeah. I do think, like, me as a DM, I don't look at all the components all the time, especially for lower level spells, because I do think that takes a lot. However, higher level spells, especially things like Revivify, when you can basically bring someone back to life, if there is a cost attached to it, you better have the cost, because it's a high stakes situation. So lower spells, I don't mind. The higher spells. So to me, that makes perfect sense that you still can't do the material, even if it is a low level spell, because you're still in a different form.
Exactly.
Yes. I remember building Lafaris for your campaign, Em, and being sat in the pub choosing spells for my Arcane Trickster, and literally messaging the group going, some of these components are whack. Like, so I'm not going to have a teardrop from a fucking elf ready to go for whatever.
Oh yeah, for a spell or a potion.
For a spell or a potion. So I agree in the fact that
magic shops would hold those
requires the DM allowing you to go, and are we doing a shopping episode today?
Oh,
but I fully agree on the fact that only I do material components for higher level spells. Because, like I say, high risk, high reward, high cost.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You guys have always got the option to ever go to a shop. If you go, we need to stock up like you did with the one magic shop in the town where you were retreated and you went, maybe we need to rethink this. Do you have any healing potions? Blah, 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 blah. That would have been the perfect time to go, oh, I've got a high spell, but I need this component. Do you have it?
Yeah.
So,
But factor in when buying spells, when selecting spells. It's kind of like if you're levels 1 to 4, looking at the components of that will help make your decision. Whereas if you're a higher level and know that you're able to go, now that we are on our way to dungeon number 2, can I just dip and get?
Yeah. So that's fantastic. So you can completely bypass the verbal components and somatic I keep saying bear, as a bear. You can just ignore that as a druid. That's fantastic.
I now just have an image of a bear just doing a little roar as the verbal component, and then
and yet you didn't like mine earlier.
And then at level 20 you can wild shape as much as you like as an arch druid. And I would be abusing.
No, all of us would be.
Whereas level 18, the spells in the wild shape form had still one limitation. At level 20, that gets taken away. So basically, I can be a fluffy, cute brown.
Oh, yes.
Ready to wild shape as many times as I want and cast whatever spell I want at a moment's notice. Come at me.
Yeah.
That's kind of broken, you know.
Because you still, obviously, when you wild shape, you still have the other stat block. So you're in the middle of battle. You can bounce from one animal to another at will. You have their stat blocks. So if the big bad burns their way through your bear, you will then be able to wild shape into a T-Rex and still be able to cast spells. It is chef's kiss. Well done.
Okay, forget the image of the bear, T-Rex with its tiny little hands.
With its tiny hands.
She's like conjuring ice knife, just like.
That's our cold open.
Imagine it. Nice.
So, Jurassic Park one shot.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. That is all I'm hearing.
Cool.
And I think it's time to jump into subclasses.
Yes. So they're going to give you two in the PHB: Circle of the Land, Circle of the Moon. Each have very different ways of how you'd like to play your druid. The Circle of the Land is spell based. Circle of the Moon is to really bolster even more your wild shape.
Now, to be precise, though technically it's only 2, when you look at Circle of the Land, because it covers Arctic, forest, grassland, coast, desert, mountain, swamp, and the Underdark. Technically, each circle is almost like a different subclass because you get different spells depending on which one you pick.
And you can't change between them. So, once you have picked your circle of
that's what you follow.
That is the one you follow through. There's you can't decide that at level 4, actually, you'd rather be.
No, you've already trained for years to do this one.
Now, some of them have some similar spells. If you look at the list, my suggestion to anyone building a druid, read through the list, see what feels right for you, because you get some circles that are more, I guess, just a bit more like
tactician.
You get
like spider climb and spike growth, which can be handy for effects. Some can give you some extra attack spells, like one of the circles gives you lightning bolt. And some even give you Misty Step, which is great for jumping out of trouble. So I think look at what you want.
Mountain has the spider climb and spike growth, as well as lightning bolt, and as you said, coast has Misty Step and other kind of like, they're all they do fit the categories they're in terms of like what you get. So coast has more water ones, and the themes are on brand. Got some on brand themes. But definitely have a look, because if we went through all the spells on this, we would be here till tomorrow, because there are so many, and and that's just like spells as well as cantrips, as well as so many to choose from. And it's Circle of the Moon, which oh my goodness,
just bolsters your wild shape more by the sounds of it.
So you still have the same guide of the animal forms in terms of walking, swimming, or flying, they are still set to the same levels.
Yeah.
However, what you do get for picking this is stronger animals at earlier levels. So level 2, normal circles would get a quarter rating, whereas the Circle of the Moon would be allowed up to a half challenge rating at level 2. And then again increases, I think level 4 is then
it's 1. At level 2, you can go to a level 1 challenge rating, and you can use your wild shape as a bonus action rather than action.
Yes, which is really handy. So you could cast a spell and then form into your animal.
Bonus action wild shape and then attack in the wild shape if needs be.
True, but with the wild shape you can't do spells. So you would
may as well use a spell,
do your attack as your action.
Yes.
Move into a better position if you choose to, and then wild shape.
You don't know what the situation is. You might need to quickly heal someone, and then as an enemy is, I make situations up all the time. You've healed someone, they're down on the floor, they're dying. Oh no. Army is charging towards you, and in that moment after healing them, you spring into bear form and just jump over them and go charging. Do you get what I mean?
Because you can still attack as a wild shape, you just can't do spells. So as long as you're picking something that has biting or clawing or an ability to use in that way, jump right in there. Get in that melee attack as a bear.
So get this though. So level 2 is a challenge 1, and level 2 is then challenge. No, level 4 is then challenge 2, or is it challenge 3?
Starting at 6th level, you can transform into a beast with challenge rating as high as your Druid level divided by 3.
Divided by 3.
So what's 4? Because if you go by 2, 4, 8, there should be something there. But the fact that at level 6, it's fine. At level 6, you get to divide it by 3. Oh, that would make sense then.
Divided by 3, so
it'd be challenge rating 2.
Yeah.
2. And then at level 9, that would be 3. At level 12, it would be 4.
Yeah.
That's kind of broken a little bit.
16. We're going up in,
15 would be 5.
15 would be 5. So 20.
At level 18, you can just go level 6. Go level 6 challenge rating.
Yeah.
And I don't know at what challenge rating they stop either. Is it 4 or 8? It's not as high as actual levels. It's
if you look at the app only goes up to a challenge rating of 6. So which makes sense.
Have to get to
level 18, so only a wild Circle of the Moon Druid would be able to access level 6 challenge rating animals, whereas if you were a normal one, you have to stick to that table. And after level 8, I don't know if it gets higher.
No. It just is level 8 challenge rating of 1. So you would only, in a normal setting, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to go up accordingly. But 1 at level 8 rather than, what is it?
1 at level 2.
Yeah.
The difference. So
So
that's crazy.
Animal, Circle of Moon is for you.
And then at level 6, the attacks that you use in your beast form counters, as a lot of classes do, they get this ability to make them magical attacks to defeat the purpose of immunity to the non-magical attacks. So I think that's very cool too. We're going to keep rolling with the bear theme. You use your claws, they're magical. I think that's just useful. Because it'll be really sucky to use your animal form and then actually my attacks do nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the PHB. If we look at Tasha's, there are 2 fun. There are 2 fun circles that you can look at, which is wildfire.
Oh, sorry, there are
stars.
3. There are 3. You also have spores in there as well.
Oh yeah, spores. Sorry, my fault. I missed that one.
No, that's okay. We all have it. We have it
yeah.
with us. But yeah, no, you have spores, stars, and wildfire. Wildfire, for some reason, always reminds me of sorcerers, but that is just me.
Wildfire just gives you connection to fire that allows some extra spells that typically druids don't get hold of, like Burning Hands. This is reminiscent of the monk with the monasteric tradition of the sun.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, this is you can go, that's so specific.
Yeah.
Why would you want a person who's living stereotypically in the forest to go, I control fire now? Only
but then if you think
forest fires.
I think if you think nature encompasses all elements.
Yeah.
So it does make sense. But some of the other things that you get on top of this, to me, are epic.
Yeah.
Like, so you get to summon a wildfire spirit, and you can do this. So basically, you use your wild shape ability, because you get so many slots. You use that to summon this spirit. And some of the things that you can do, so you can gain the feature that allows you to utilize a creature's death to your advantage by turning the spectral flame that comes out of their body. So think their soul. They've died on the battlefield. You can see their soul. You see it there. You can either use it to heal someone or damage someone. So the minute someone crosses into that body's space, you can basically make this soul explode, and it can either heal someone. So if it's an ally, you can be like, run through the body.
Patronus from Harry Potter.
There we go.
Yeah.
Patronus from Harry Potter.
If it's an enemy, you can make it explode and cause damage to them.
Yep.
That's
and the best thing, I think the best thing about this one is, if you at any point, I think this is like the highest feature of this circle. If you get hit and you go to 0 hit points, you can cause your spirit to take your damage, and therefore it will get reduced to 0 and will disappear, and it will instantly give you half your hit points back.
Immediately.
So this will be like a level 17 ability, level 17, when you have like 120 HP to go, here's 60 back. Bloody hell.
A high up feature, I don't think it's something.
I was going by like the different levels, it's like 17 is usually the highest.
The highest, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, that's very cool. Just the imagery of that.
Yeah.
To summon a spirit animal from the soul of a dead, and then you go down and it comes and heals you. That is the imagery. It's so good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hattie, do you want to chat spores?
Oh, I fucking love spores. I do. I didn't realise this was one, and if it was, I would have chosen it, because I just think it is incredibly cool. For a nature aspect, you have access to basically mushrooms. And similar to the wildfire spirit, you are able to use them to heal or to damage.
Yeah.
They are all around you. They are on you. Form a halo around you.
Like Baldur's Gate 3, Myconids.
Yes. Similar. Yeah. You are able to form necrotic spores. You are at higher levels able to use them to, like a parasite, they're able to take control of something that is already dead, I think, and use it as like a puppet, basically. So it's like, it's reanimation.
Best example is when you guys in Dragons of Stormwreck Isle went into the cave for the Myconids, and you faced off against that octopus.
Yeah.
It was a spore octopus because the Myconids had put spores on it. It was already dead. It reanimated because they wanted to protect themselves. So they use it as a guardian.
That's very clever.
So it's not bringing them back to life. It's just like animating the dead body.
So it can't attack or anything like that. You can't.
It can.
Basically it's a soulless being. It is just being puppeted by you.
Oh, okay.
There's no personality.
So it has no.
There.
Yeah, it has no brain thought.
Yeah.
No brain thoughts. I don't have brain thoughts either.
if you've told it to do something, it's going to do that. So obviously in that situation, the mechanism has been like, you are our guardian. If people wander in, you attack.
Yeah.
That's why the character who sent you on that task couldn't get in anymore, because it kept being attacked. So it just didn't recognize who was friend or foe. It just wasn't taking any chances.
Yeah, it is quite heavy on the necrotic damage, the spores, and I think that that's quite helpful when you are playing a character that is quite loosey and nice. You have the ability to just weaponize fungi.
Twisted.
Yeah, and I just think it's really cool. And as soon as I read it, I was like, this one is going to be mine. We've had it throughout this where we've all read things about classes that we have played, and we've gone,
I didn't know I could do this. Oh, no. Mine was the rogue assassin.
Yeah. So you're able to just chef's kiss. And as well with the deadly spores, you're able to enact damage with that. So you can make people wander through a mist that is produced by them or them entirely. They're just quite damaging for something so small, and I just think it's great.
So after that, the last one in Tasha's Cauldron is Circle of Stars.
Yes.
Now, the character I was playing in Tyler's campaign before I jumped out to come on tour is a multi-class Druid cleric, just because of the themes I've picked. And it's a multi-class of Druid of Stars and a Twilight cleric, because I was going very Twilight astrology sort of stars are my guide situation. It doesn't help that I'm an Aasimar that fell from heaven. I'm talking about me, not my character. But so Circle of Stars allows you to take what's called a starry form, which grants extra benefits from being able to add ranged bonus action attacks.
Yeah.
So summoning your starry form is the same as using a wild shape. So it takes that ability. You take on one of the forms. It's like you light up with stars. So that the one of the archer basically does ranged damage as a bonus attack. You don't need a weapon. It's like a spectral sort of situation, or like you're just casting it. And that's a 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier.
Gorgeous.
The chalice form allows you to heal. So every time you cast a healing spell on someone, so say one of you down, I cast Cure Wounds, which is at a normal level, a 1d8 plus your wisdom. Anyone else who is in 30 feet, you can also, for no extra cost, heal them by another 1d8.
That's mad.
Yep.
So radius or...
Pardon?
30 feet radius, so you're covering 60 feet worth.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So you could heal yourself and heal one other person at the same time. You could heal two people at the same. Do you get what I mean? And I think at that sort of extra, these forms only last about 10 minutes as a whole. Mm-hmm. But in terms of combat, if you know you're going against a heavy duty boss or battle, you take that form. 10 minutes is 100 rounds. You can be firing stuff from the background because some of the spells that you have anyway, and still be able to heal not only you but others around you if you need it. And then the dragon, is it dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dragon form, basically, what is it?
A wise dragon appears on you, and you're able to make intelligence and wisdom checks, or a constitution saving throw. If you make
that rolls a 9 or under.
Yes,
it turns it into an automatic 10.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the rogue ability.
Yeah.
Where everything you roll is proficient, you can't get lower than 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's at level 2. So if you want to take that, so So this is what you get at level 2 for picking it. Yeah. Now at later levels, you get other forms. We could go through all of them, but we'd end up being there. But again, it's more things like potential damages, extra attack rolls, advantages and bonuses on ability checks, that sort of thing. Even resistances to melee damage.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So
all
when
of
you
these
think of it,
circles get the spells that you would do when you level up as well. So aside from all of this, you also have access to the huge spells list that happens every other level.
Yeah.
So they are just stacked characters, and I love.
And that's Tasha's cauldron done.
We have Xanathar's Guide, which has a couple extra ones in there as well. Mainly the Circle of Shepherds, which, to summarize it loosely, is for the protection of you and the people you deem worthy.
Yeah.
So they're all things around protection. You get extra languages, and you're able to talk to animals. It is more of the kind of healing rather than the damaging side of the Druid. So you have Swords, which is the damaging side. You also have this, which, you
protect your flock.
Yeah.
As a shepherd.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And with that, you're able to level 2, gain the ability to converse with beasts and many fae.
Is that without casting Speak with Animals, or does that become a cantrip, or you can just do it?
You can just do it. It is something you get.
It's like a feature, so you can just...
Yeah. You pick it up immediately. You're able to call forth spirits and use them to influence the world around you as bonus actions. You're able to call forth a spirit totem. You're able to summon it up to 60 feet in front of you. All things that are kind of can be used as walls or shields or to.
That's very cool.
I'm pretty sure they can attack for you as well.
I was going to say, that's you can stay at the back, do some healing stuff in the back, and then summon a form to go, actually, can you do the fighting for me? Well,
it lasts for a minute, but yes.
Druids have a lot of summoning spells anyway, so it would make sense. Like, you can summon beasts, summon animals, summon fae at a later level, so that kind of makes sense to that. It might not be as the full length of effect as the spell, because the spells take more concentration, but as a feature, I don't mind it being limited time because it's free.
Yes.
If this is a bonus action,
They do come in various forms, the spirits. So you have the bear spirit that grants your allies its might and endurance. So they gain temporary hit points equal to 5 plus your druid level. This is anyone who you choose. They also gain advantage on strength and strength saving while within the aura. You also have...
That's a great party trick in terms of you're going into a battle with your party and you go, I'm going to take this form on straight away. Everyone around you has taken that as a bonus because of you.
If you pop that before walking into the BBEG room, let's go. I don't have to waste any actions or bonus actions on this. I'm just going to do it now.
Yep.
Everyone gets your temporary hit points. Let's go.
Yeah.
Leroy Jenkins.
Or even as like a reaction to a fight starting. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Like if you know something's up ahead, you might go, I would like to have this at the ready, which is, this action at the ready. Done. And then you're all going in. You've had this little boost. 5 plus your druid level. What level do you get that?
I want to say 2. Yeah, starting at 2nd level, you can call forth nature spirits.
Okay, so that means 5 plus your druid level, so that's going to be 7. Yeah. 7 doesn't sound like a lot, but everyone getting 7 to begin with, that's at least an extra attack, left out.
Let's
with having
level 2, everyone can take an extra attack. They can withdraw 1 or 2 more hits just because you've
and if you're a wizard, real helpful.
Right, but imagine that. Imagine just getting to level 5. That is 10 for everyone.
Just cause.
Yeah. Like you start to really see the impact. And if you're a party of 5, that's 50 extra HP all around.
Yeah.
That's basically another character.
That is so much health.
Yeah.
Some people might go, it's not that.
50 extra hit points.
But which is really helpful for the whole party in general, because
Yeah.
it means that if you are a heavy hitter, if you're a barbarian, you can stand and shield someone else longer.
Yeah.
If you're a wizard, you're not being taken out quite as soon as you would if you were attacked. Like, it's just a standard. The party is staying strong.
The barbarian raging, so you get less bludgeoning and piercing damage, and then you have the texture points. That gives you like 4 more attacks you can take.
Yeah. What were the other forms?
You have the Hawk Spirit, which is you're able to give your allies the ability of keen sight, basically.
Was that more perception, more insight? Or...
Yeah, so attack rolls against the target, you can use your reaction to gain advantage to that attack roll. You are able to have advantage on wisdom and perception checks whilst in the aura. So it's all kind of, keen sight, all things around being able to perceive, having the knowledge, and adding on to attack rolls.
But reacting to someone attacking you and gaining an advantage on that, that is really good.
Yeah. Incredibly helpful in battle, and the perception is incredibly helpful when just generally looking around. Again, if you're in a dungeon crawl, probably that one is the one you may choose, just because you need to be able to see things, and having advantages on those attack rolls is key.
Hostage situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like if you're trying to keep an eye out, if they've stolen someone or kidnapped someone, and you need to keep an eye on that one character who's got a hold of them, but still fight your way through.
Yeah. Perfect. The last one we have down here is the Unicorn Spirit, which lends its protection to everyone nearby. I love it because it's magical. It's so pretty. You and your allies. Language. You and your allies gain advantage on all ability checks made to detect creatures in the spirit's aura. So you gain advantage when trying to detect creatures.
So I would argue that's survival, perception, insight. That's kind of 3 I would go. If you're making one of those checks, I would go, you're doing this.
Yeah.
To track.
Yeah, basically tracking animals.
Okay.
Yeah, so survival would be the main one.
Yeah. In addition, you cast or can use a spell slot to restore hit points at any creature inside the aura. So again, if you're inside the aura of the unicorn, and I extend it, if I use a spell slot, what's happening here? You could also gain equal hit points to your druid level. So at level 5, I can give you 5 hit points if I get rid of a spell slot.
I think that's a bit of that's kind of redundant. I think if you use like healing word or something like that, it's the same thing.
True.
Is it not with any bonuses?
Yeah.
Like, is it wisdom plus your level, or just?
It just says equal to your druid level.
That can't be right. You may as well just use a spell at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose though, if you're for whatever reason a druid who hasn't taken any healing spells.
Yeah, true. Then you have something to fall back on. It is not in this book, it's in the other one. But yeah. So it is all, guardians and a lot of guardian spirits that as you get higher up in the levels, you are then able to do more. They're able to help more with protection as a shield or adding on hit points to those who are damaged, which is so cute.
What's the next one?
The next one.
Oh, no, there you go. If you cast a spell using a spell slot that restores hit points to any creature inside or outside the aura, each creature of your choice in the aura also regains the hit points.
So it's like an add-on to
then
what
that's
you're doing.
pretty good.
Okay.
That
makes a lot of sense.
Then that sounds a lot.
So you're expanding the spell slot to cast that healing spell in the first place, and then everyone
else
in the aura also regains hit points to your druid level.
So it's essentially like mass healing word.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's like a bonus action on top of a spell slot.
Yeah. But that's free in terms of if you cast something like Healing Word has a distance because someone's outside, anyone inside just getting that free extra buff
Yeah.
For no good reason. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds a lot better.
That does sound a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and again, the levels change depending on whether it's 2, 6, 10, and 14, I believe. That is when you would level up with this particular subclass. And the more levels you get, the higher power spell slots and being able to conjure animals and spirits to protect your party.
Yeah.
Is the tagline for that one.
Yeah.
And I think this is the last one, is it? The Circle of Dreams.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So you are imbued with blessings from the Summer Court.
That I am.
Which is like the Feywild. Summer Court is like the Fey realm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a term I've heard before. There we go. I can use that. Okay, go. Yes.
And it's all about restoring energy. So we've had the damaging, we've had the protection, and now this one is more of the healing. So you are able to use a font of energy to offer respite from injuries. You have a pool of Fey energy represented by a number of D6 equal to your Druid level.
Mm-hmm.
That could be quite a lot.
Yeah, 5d6 at level 5. Okay, yeah.
As a bonus action, you can choose an ally you can see within 120 feet. 120 feet. Jesus. And you can spend a number of those dice to equal to half your Druid level or less. So I'm assuming restore their hit points. I'm assuming.
That makes sense.
That would, yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. Target regains a number of hit points equal to the total. Sorry, I didn't read your notes. Until the end of the bullet point. I never learnt how to read, apparently.
If you're bored of your notes halfway through the sentence,
I just decided that was the end. Target also gains 1 temporary hit point per die spent. So on top of gaining up to half the die in hit points, you also gain an extra one in a temporary one.
Just
for fun.
That's good. If you roll minimum points, you're still getting another 5 on your 5.
And that's second level. After a long rest, you gain all of these back again.
Oh, sick.
So
actually, no, that makes sense. I know somewhere why that's sick. That just makes logical sense.
Yeah.
So
I'd expect.
I think, if I'm reading it correctly, because I've just pulled it up, so you get D6s total to your Druid level.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in that one moment, you can only spend the amount of up to half of that level.
Oh, okay. So it's not. So you're only up to. So only if it's level 2, you get 2 D6s. You can only use 1 to heal
at a time. Okay.
Whoever it is that you are healing.
Which is also not a bad idea if you're thinking, well, it means you can save more for later.
True. And they gain
especially as you. Yeah. So you're healing and gaining temporary for every.
Yeah, for every dice. So
for up to 120 feet.
Yeah, geez.
For healing, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, it is all about healing and restoring. So at different levels, you get extra bonuses and add-ons to help your allies. So level 6, a +5 to dexterity or stealth, wisdom and perception checks. And any light or open flame is not visible outside this particular spell, so you're able to cast a shadowy layer that will give them all of these perception checks, and the light will not be seen. So there's fun little add-ons like that that really make it quite a little bit sneaky.
And in pure Fey realm fashion, at level 10, you get to teleport.
Yeah.
But what's fun is, it can be used as a bonus action. It's actually up to 60 feet, whereas like Misty Step is usually 30 feet. But you can use it on someone else. Yeah. They have to be willing.
But wait, is it? Do you have to touch them, or can you just go? You can do this now.
Do you know what? I don't actually.
You can touch.
Oh, you can touch.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I was thinking barbarian in the middle is taking a battering. Just teleport, dick.
Yeah.
You can only teleport them up to 30. So you can teleport yourself to 60. You can only teleport them to 30. But still, if you wanted to run in as a bonus action, attack someone who was attacking an ally, and then quickly tap them to send them 30 feet back so they're out of the way and getting some cover.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's handy.
Turns you into a fun little ambulance. You run in. Go, Jeff.
Is this something you could do while in wild shape? Because if you can turn into an animal on your action, run in with your powered up health bar, then touch them and teleport them away, then you can take more hits.
I mean,
could you do that?
It's not a spell, and you don't have.
It's a feature.
You don't have to use words. It is just touching them. So technically, if we're looking at game math, you could.
That's kind of. You got 4 HP.
I guess that depends on the DM.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I guess at that point, if at level 18 and 20, you're able to do somatic and verbal.
Yeah.
I guess at that point, if you're able to touch, because that's all it's saying is touch someone, well, that's somatic. So it's an energy. It's like a magical energy that's allowing you to do this. So I would personally find it hard to not justify someone deciding to do that.
If you were going to game lawyer it, the wording is.
It's
also like
that you could.
Also, if someone went, I want to do this, I think it's a cool scenario to be like, my panther charges in, quickly swipes at the bad guy, and then smacks the ally with its tail and sends it 30 feet back. Now, there's probably going to be people listening to this going, that's not possible. But if at level 18 you can be in a wild form and still cast spells, I find it hard to justify why you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because it's like an innate ability, and though you are in a form, you are still, that form is an innate ability.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, it is down to the DM. Technically, if you were going to lawyer it, there's no language around that says
you definitely can't,
because it doesn't fall under a spell, which is the one component of the wild shape that you can't do. You cannot cast spells because you cannot talk.
Yeah.
And this isn't that. There's no language there, so you could, but again, your DM, it's your DM's world. If he says no because it actually falls under my criteria of the spell, then that's
that. But
I would definitely put it in the
grey area box.
I would definitely put it in the higher level of
Yeah.
the 18 and 20 feature that you can with spells, so I don't see why not. Lower levels, maybe not so much.
Yeah. But yeah, and alongside that, at level 14, you have the ability to basically just see, scry, do all the magic, which is also very cool. And again, these all come alongside lists of spells that you have to choose from, and these spell slots keep growing. So if you are not able to do something within your subclass that you know is a spell, add it in as a spell. Just like, there's so many ways to kind of sneaky cheat with this, but it's just like, you want that spell, but you're in the circle of the moon, so you have all of your wild shapes, but you're still gaining spells anyway every time you level up. So I'm just like, sneaky.
You can gain so much from the versatility that this offers, which I think starts to bring us into the pros and cons of the Druid. For me, big pro is how incredibly versatile this class is. From they don't have the biggest health barrier, only being a D8. However, because of their healing abilities and their wild form abilities, it does still allow them to get up close into a fight. It might not be the first move a Druid should make. It might be, I'm going to sit back for a bit and do some, controlling and some blasting from the background. But as soon as things start to get a bit heated and we're struggling, I'm going to jump into my Panther form and just I've got maybe 18 health points.
2 times you can do it. I agree. Shouldn't do it straight off. Let's see what the situation needs.
Yeah.
And then it's time to go loud. Okay, now my Panther.
Yeah. And that's a fighting situation. Otherwise, the role play aspects that you can have with an animal, it lasts for an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe you're in a situation where only one of you can go into like a meeting with someone, so you turn the other one into an animal to as if it's your
my
pet.
crow.
Yeah, exactly.
It sits on your shoulder.
That's a good idea.
Because as long as the challenge rating is low enough at a level 2 or whichever level you are, you don't even have to use a crow or a hawk to fly if you're not allowed to. They can still just be there. You still have the ability to peck and claw, and you still have the ability to be the animal as a disguise.
I think it's I genuinely, I'm surprised that, because I've never really played a druid, never looked at a druid.
No.
I'm surprised that wild shape is not its own thing, and that is a circle of, because that is so powerful. And then the diversity of the subclasses and the circles of that you can make something mad here. And if, like I say, if we rules lawyer it and look at the wording, druids, you could get away with so much stuff.
My word.
So much.
Unbelievably powerful. And like the access to the spells list that they have. Again, it's a very wide range of spells that other spellcasters don't get. Wizards can't access healing magic. Do they have some more powerful magic in terms of like battle ready magic? Absolutely. They get burning hands at level 1. Druids don't. But it doesn't mean druids don't have. You've got ice knife, you've got other things that can still work.
Alongside the spells that you gain if you are Circle of Land, or alongside the wild shape you gain in as the Circle of the Moon, and any other of the ones we have listed that comes from the other books. If you're doing protection, you still have access to spells that can do loads of damage. If you're doing restoring, you still have access to like shields and things that can protect you. If you're doing necrotic, you still have access to healing ones. So even if you pick a cantrip, even if you pick a subclass that doesn't give you access to those particular spells as part of it, you still have them in your back pocket from earlier. So there is so much where you can just pick and choose. And whilst you might be you may only get a certain section of spells from the Circle of Land, it doesn't stop you from accessing the other ones.
And just picking the other ones as you go along.
Exactly.
My only con for the druid is I'm someone who loves the role-playing aspect of D&D. And if we're sticking just to archetypes, I would, a hippie archetype doesn't fit my being.
No.
I love the fact that you can do all these things, but again, we always say you don't have to stick to the stereotypes. But in my head, I'm like, how would I play a druid? What I don't know what I'll come up with the backstory. I'm not a nature-loving person. I like going on long walks on the beach at sunset. But I just don't feel that connection to trees. I don't think I could connect with the character in a role-playing sense.
I personally think they're great for role playing, so I disagree with you on that. But I do understand what you're saying about like the hippie side of it. I don't think you have to play it like that.
No, the stereotypes in that.
Yeah, but you could even look at it in kind of the terms as like the ranger. You're close to nature, but you have all of these skills that can make you more of a rogue, more of a spy if you chose to, because you can wild shape into an animal. You've got access to all of these, which means if you're caught and someone takes away all of your weapons, you can have primal savagery as a cantrip, and you can use that to defend yourself. So there's a whole load of things which, if you wanted to play a spy but wanted to have access to the spells that they get or the cantrips that they get that make them really powerful, you could. So whilst the stereotype of like, here is a hippie and you only love Earth and you are very peaceful and won't do damage is great. If you want to do damage, you
have
can.
Option.
Who knows? Maybe the backstory is you were originally a wizard who just really got into weed.
Yeah. Really found your stride. But
I would say as a con, the only like main sort of two things that I can really think of is this is more on one is just on preference. If you're wanting to play an investigative type character, I don't think this is the class for you.
No,
I think all the things that they get with wisdom, and that being their magical side, and you know the sort of nature perspective, where wisdom falls in with perception and medicine and animals. I think you're then wasting that. If you want the investigative role, you either go rogue or wizard or an intelligent sort of fighter. And then the other con is if you become the healer of the party.
Yes.
I'm like, let's look at let's look at our parties. There's usually one or two of you who have access to healing magic, like ours. You do have Emily as the main druid, but Jordan is a ranger, so he has access to some. So it's not all on her. And same when Naz joined for the one shot being a cleric. You were a druid, she was a cleric healing. But I do think you become a healer. You put a little bit of a target on your back because in my eyes, as a DM, I want them out of the way so they can stop healing everyone else.
I mean, even that, if you wild shape, I'm going to take down the wild shape as fast as I physically can. To burn through that health bar. Get them out there.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, you're right. You do put a target on your back as a druid.
But you've got all the capabilities to match whatever the DM throws at you.
Yeah.
So.
Really cool. I am very biased and I have no cons for this.
I was just thinking logical.
It's not a bad. It's not a bad. Like, it is a con in itself, but when we're thinking of pros and cons, I just downside. I love them. And it's fun to play. You can choose any that you want. In the subclasses, help you do what you want to do, as long as you know what you want to do specifically.
So, do we talk rankings?
Yeah. I think we all know what mine's going to be. It's the number one.
That was obvious.
Right? What are yours?
I'm going to put them. I know we've already said they're so diverse and they're so powerful, but I don't know why it doesn't scream out to me. As a player, I can see how they're going to be fucking amazing in the majority of situations, but the class doesn't scream out, so I'm going to put it at number 3.
That's fair.
The way you were saying that, I was expecting lower.
So much lower. You're like, a number?
No, I have to appreciate that. I like to find little loopholes in the game.
You do indeed.
I feel there's a lot of opportunity.
Yes, there is.
But again, the character itself doesn't scream at me, thinking about other classes that are going to come up later.
Yes, absolutely.
For me, it's a solid 2 because we all know I love my magic. It's hard because I think I love what I've placed as my first is just a pure love for me, and whenever I get to play that class, so happy. But if that class did not exist, I think Druid would be the absolute way forward. It's literally like,
don't say it now. Don't spoil it. I'm intrigued what your number one
is. No, I'm not saying.
Druid would be first.
I have this. So Druid is my first, but I know exactly what my second is because if Druid doesn't exist, I would choose that.
I don't have one of these.
Right. I have a feeling what my first is Hatty's second. So we'll find out.
When we finish this recording, you and I are going to
take us out.
Will, take us out.
On a date or with a sniper?
Wow. I just meant with our...
You can find us at the BBEG Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can find us on YouTube. You can also find us on... Twitter as well. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcast, Google Podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
Any others?
Amazon Podcast.
Amazon. There we go. You will find us at the BBEG Podcast in any of those social media handles. And if you would like to email us at all or message us directly on our social platforms, but if you would like to email us, it is the BBEG Podcast at gmail.com. Any questions, anything you want to chat about, just hit us up. We're always happy to chat. Feel free to correct us. Even let us know your own personal rankings.
Absolutely.
Yes, but on that note, I gotta go because a bloke is coming to fix my washing machine.
Someone's coming to fix my plumbing.
I'd rather be playing. I kind of want to
stop recording.
Well, I could have gone in so many ways. I'm not going to say any of them. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for watching. Catch us next time. Goodbye.